if you're saying Kibaki is number 5 out of Kenyatta 1, Moi, Kibaki, Kenyatta 2, Ruto, Kibaki is number 5. Yes, Dennis Onsarigo said something on Africa's podcast, Nini. I was trying to remember the name. Let's hear what Dennis Onsarigo had to say here. My bad.
To be honest, and I want this to go on record, I feel Kibaki was the worst president ever.
Why?
Okay. Plain passing. Let's repeat this.
To be honest, and I want this to go on record, I feel Kibaki was the worst president ever.
Why?
In terms of after 2007, before 2007, I think Kibaki had the mandate from the people to govern this country. Yes. Huge mandate. Most popularly elected president ever. Yes. But he abused that. Privilege, and he divided us and we've never recovered. We will never recover because by the time tonight the elections in 2.
Sorry, chat. Let me pause there and say I don't like that. I don't like it when we say things like that. I have been seeing a lot of that recently when people will go like, "Hey, by the time Ruto is done with us, we will not be able to recover." Of course, we can recover. The reason I say that is it's such a dangerous path to go down because I feel like it has the capacity to create apathy and you're just feeling like we can't recover. So let's just, of course you can recover. And I keep giving the example of Sankara. I don't have his book here. I have like Sankara and now Traore in Burkina Faso show that you can go from a really bad place and start moving. So I just wanted to put that.
7, we were divided so much as a country. Yes. We became aware that I'm Luo, you're Kisii, you're Luya, especially after 2005, after referendum yake kuanguka, Kibaki became something else. I mean, and his ministers decided Kibaki decided to run a regional government, a central Kenya government.
Yeah, he actually did a reshuffle. I don't know if we could be able to find that. He did a reshuffle immediately after the referendum. So after he lost the referendum vote, when the people voted no for the old new constitution, he immediately reshuffled his cabinet, and I think that's where the ODM, the Orange Movement, was born in 2005. I think. I don't know if it was 2005. Cabinet sacked after government loses. I want to see if there's a way to find the names of the people who are in that cabinet. Just to also fact check what Dennis is saying in that. So he says he ran a regional government. So right from the top, Mr. Zakari Mwaura, Kikuyu. John Meshoki, Kikuyu. Miroge Karaoke. This Kikuyu, Cyrus Getuai, Kikuyu. That sounds to me. JB Kilimo. That sounds Kalenjin. Anania Mwaboza, that's Coastarian, I don't know the tribe, forgive me. Daniel Mule sounds Kamba. Kivuda Kibwana is Kamba. But Kamba, of course, Gema. So I'm going to go with Gema. So we give Dennis enough of a leash not to hang himself. Just, if he's speaking the truth, he's speaking the truth. So let's go with Gema. Kivuda Kibwana, Gema. Morongaro, Gema. Mungatana, not Gema. Zoro, not Gema. Conchela, Kuti. But there's a lot of Gema in here. I have to say, even just that. Minister of Finance. Don't remember. Also, they don't have all the names, I think. I also don't think the government was this lean. Let's see if we can find that's 2009. I'm trying to find 2005. He sacked them. I don't know. I think he sacked them and then appointed another cabinet down the line. So I don't know if this is gonna. Yeah, that's not gonna help us. Just go back and hear. But looks like Dennis has a good point in saying that he ran a regional government.
where he put everyone from his community in power and everyone else was kicked out. So by the time that Trafika 207, he had managed to isolate an entire community against the rest of Kenyans, and that was a very bad thing. So we never recovered from there. We never recovered. Kuja 2013, you have another government in place again. Again, it was not the government we wanted as a country. So perpetually, over the years, we eroded what we had built on. I wish Kibaki would have just retired in 2007 after losing an election. Or he should have said, I can't be part of this contested election. Because people died, Kibaki to become president. Yes.
Now, I agree with him. I think Kenya would be better off if Kibaki stepped aside in 2007, or if he at the very least called for a fresh election. At the end of the day, the belief for most Kenyans, including me, is that Raila Odinga won that election. Facts is something else. Facts say that we don't know who won that election. You can look at what was happening around and say, I actually believe Raila won, and I think that Raila won. Including the drama that happened around now the government actually stealing the election, suggests that they would have had information before them showing them that you're actually losing this election. So I do think that the right thing for Kibaki to do at that point would have been to say, okay, that's too bad. That's too bad. I mean, like, that's too, he actually did say that's too bad and then swore himself in. But I mean, like, he should have said that should not be how I come back to power. Let's do a fresh round of elections, or let me step aside if he believed he had lost. But I want to get into the comments a little bit before I just want to see what the people are saying. You're right, how many people died just because he clung to power even after losing 2007 elections? Who declared 41 against 1? Oh, please give me a break. Singling out a president and forgetting all the other atrocities done by other presidents. Kibaki was the worst president. Unfortunately, this is the truth not many people want to hear. Spot on. Kwenda must watch episode this one. I'd like to ask this guy who was his best. Okay, so the reason I came to the comment section is because when I first got into the comment section, I had a lot of people agreeing with him strongly. Now, I think I do not really strongly disagree with what Dennis is saying, other than just the overarching, the specific points he makes are all valid, point by point. Everything he says is valid. But I completely disagree with the notion that Kibaki was the worst president ever. Now, if he's saying that as a figure of speech, Kibaki was the worst president ever because he did 1, 2, 3 things, that's fine. If you're saying Kibaki is number 5 out of Kenyatta 1, Moi, Kibaki, Kenyatta 2, Ruto, Kibaki is number 5, give me a break. Give me a break, man. I think we've had, there are things that become fashionable for people to say. I think during the Jubilee administration, when Uhuru was president, we had a lot of people saying that this is the worst government we've had. I disagreed at the time. I do not necessarily disagree now, although I still think it's debatable. I think Kenyatta 1 was... I would have Kenyatta 1 at number 5, me, myself. I was not there, I never got... I have experienced 4 out of the 5 presidents. I did not experience Kenyatta 1, but I think he's the worst because he's the father of every single thing that we have to face now. He's the one who set the precedent. So, if you're saying Kibaki is the worst president ever, and the evidence that you're giving is that he divided the country, did Kibaki divide the country? 100%. Did he do it worse than other presidents? Did Kibaki divide the country worse than Kenyatta 1? Give me a break. That's just something that is fashionable for you to say. Did Kibaki divide the country? Maybe I'd probably have him as number 2. Number 2. Yeah, I'd have him as number 2. After Kenyatta, number 2 Kibaki, because I saw that with my own eyes. So that's like, that was heavy, what happened. And I agree with Dennis, like 2002 was a really good time, was a really good opportunity for Kenya to deal with a lot of the issues that we have historically. That was a time when, that was the one time, at least in my lifetime, when I have seen just about the entire country united. And definitely, Kibaki missed a massive opportunity in his first term to build on that mandate, as Dennis is saying, that mandate that he had been given so overwhelmingly by the people. He did not build on that. But if you say that makes him the worst ever, please. If you believe that, how about this? If you believe that, you tell me that today, if you were offered the chance for Kibaki to come back and lead with maybe a bit of the context around him, because I don't think you could just like handpick him and put him in the government and it's gonna work at the head of the government. But it's still cool. It's still cool. So if you're telling me you prefer what you have now to what was there before, okay. So this was not a shot at Dennis, because I also understand the context. This is the thing, you guys have to start thinking for yourselves. Stop following just because there is a line, a company line. Now we all have to toe it. Just ask yourself, okay, what he said, let me think, is it true or is it not true? It just doesn't make sense to me, because if you look at the full context, you will also understand that where is Dennis coming from. Dennis is also someone who was quite literally on the other side. Dennis is someone who went to battle against Kibaki because he was on Raila's side, I think in 2022, the election. No, what am I saying? I don't know when he was on. There's an election where Dennis was in Raila's team. And so therefore, this is someone who has been in an environment where there is a charged, like an emotionally charged view of the other side. So when he says worst president ever, I can see it from his perspective through that lens, and it makes sense. I'd be like, yeah, if I was on the other side and this guy is doing what Kibaki did, then yeah. So you're just coming and saying, yeah, spot on. I have never seen a more spot on truth. Like, Kibaki is quite objectively not the worst president that Kenya has ever had. In my opinion, we've not had a good president. But is he the worst of the bunch? Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man.